Out of 30, there's potentially like 4 or 5 of us remaining, which is just shows you that it's like entrepreneurship is about how long you can stay in business for. Do you know what's funny is I always look at our 30 under 30 photo and I look at who's actually still in business. There's 2 of us. I think there's one girl doing an AI wardrobe and someone else.
I actually got a call from someone during the week and actually this week. Daragh, I'm so goddamn bored. I have so much free time. I have this idea for a product. What should I do? And I was like, I think yes, you're bored.
It's not a good sign. Do something, excite yourself, get yourself back on the creativity.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Built from Scratch podcast with Eric and I. This is episode 27. A quick intro to start. My name is Daragh. I'm a 24-year-old entrepreneur from Galway. I've been building companies since I was 17 years old. And I co-founded the graphic design with Eric when we were 17. I now build a company called Magnate. We're the control center for people who get a lot of messages across multiple platforms, building the best interface for messaging. We're also co-owners of Sky Park Rooftop Car Park in Galway, where you can book online and park with us in the smack bang city centre with views of the Burren, Aran Islands and Galway City.
Oh, can we actually see that?
Yeah.
Oh, we should charge people a little bit more than for the views.
Keeping the photo shoots up there.
You should be up there, like, with a card machine, taking card payment and let it, yeah. I was surprised you caught that you are no longer 23, you're now 24.
Yeah, I'm 24.
Happy birthday officially on this podcast. I suppose this is a week in a row. You sure we haven't birthday month. You always like to make sure everybody knows it's your birthday. So my name is Eric. I'm 24 years old. I still have another bit to go before I'm 25. Getting into my mid-20s.
You're already in your mid-20s.
Am I?
Yeah.
Technically,
24 onwards, yeah.
okay, that's not bad. I run a company called Grafton Digital where we do digital transformations for companies, software development, website development, and everything within that sort of space. And then as you can see on my t-shirt, I'm also the COO of Olive for Education. We're Ireland's fastest growing edtech company where we provide both hardware and software for post-primary / K-12 students, for anybody watching in America, and helping them along with their digital and education journey.
Oh, how was your weekend? It's Friday.
It's Friday and it's like 26 degrees, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. So you probably can do the maths really quickly.
It's over 100.
It's over 100. Yeah. We've had a really good week. It was really quick. It was just a click of a finger and it was gone. It was pretty busy on my side. I was up in Dublin a few times this week and just really trying to use the little bit of downtime during the summer where it's like, you're probably not getting as much deal flow. You're looking at really setting up systems, looking at your learning from the last few months and just getting everything ready to fire up again in August, September. That's when we always get this June, July where all the business leaders are kind of on their holidays or, marketing managers are away. So everyone takes the summer as like a little bit of a holiday or relax and chillax period. So I've had a very productive week in that sense. And nothing really, really exclusive or really, really cool to report today. But that was most of my week. I was working improving customer experience, service, and just looking at anything like applying for some RFPs and requests for proposals is the RFPs for anybody watching over in the US, and that sort of stuff is what I was at.
And what about you? Why are we having in the studio for the next few weeks now?
Well, next week I'm going to San Antonio, and after San Antonio, I'm going to do a pit stop in Puerto Rico. I don't know for how long yet. Going to spend a month there, but probably month is too long now. But I'll go for a little bit, and maybe I'll stop in New York and Boston and then come back. I don't know, but there will be a little bit of travel in the next couple of weeks. So we will be still live in some capacity, I'm sure. It's actually more you I'm concerned about because you're getting on a big plane in the next couple of weeks and going over to a time zone that maybe I mightn't be able to, tailor myself to. But what time zone are you going into?
Probably EST.
EST. Oh,
5 hours, 6 hours. New York.
oh, what about like San Francisco? Is that
8 hours.
8 hours? See, that 8 hours is a bit of a tough one for me.
I think Puerto Rico 6 hours.
That's okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, it doesn't count at all. What counts is what I have in terms of our Irish time. So that's what we have to base it off.
Anywho,
You know,
yes.
that's it.
So I own my travel schedule already on that side, but I should find some news out today and have some um and go from there. I'm waiting on hopefully getting to Accelerator, which will be bringing us around a little bit, some business hubs. So if we get that, then I'll talk about that a little bit more on the podcast.
Is that the one where you get like flights, membership, and oh yeah, that'd be cool to
I
get.
think the thing they're letting everyone know today or Monday.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then we might, celebrate this afternoon. What's the weather rate? Yeah, just in case,
But no, I've had a good week. Like Wednesday slash Thursday week, we're going to be launching Magnate.
So next week,
When
following week,
following
July
versus
2nd,
yeah, around yeah,
July 2nd,
we're going to be launching
Magnate's going live.
for any on the wait list. So if you're not on the wait list with Magnate, join the wait list shortly. You get early access to Magnate B1, and some exciting updates coming after that. Then
And you've launched a new website.
yes,
It actually looks pretty good.
you launched a new website.
And I was very sad you didn't get it developed by Graphics and Digital, the best web development company in Ireland. But that's okay. We I suppose
Here,
part of the separation process.
budgets are tight.
Right. Yeah. No, but budgets are controlled and pre-spent.
Yeah. So no, we're new website live. I think it looks good. Currently is doing out the flow for new users and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, launch that this week. And then next week when we connect all our data tools, enhancements, tidying off and then put it live. And then the big one is all our AI functionality will be following in afterwards, and that I'm really excited about that. So no, I'm excited to eventually just put it live, just have it live, and
It's about time.
go put it build in public.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be strong enough to build in public. So
Yeah.
so
So the team has been like working hard on it. Like I've seen them, night and day. Like they're just coding. Or
yeah.
even Aaron, every time I meet him, he just only says hello to me for like 2 minutes, and then he's out coding it. Yeah, and
Well, I was like, I woke up Thursday morning and update push at 4 a.m.
I wake up every day from test flight. I'm on the test flight list. I just get like it's like random, like 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 6 a.m. I just get like an early touch. I'm like, oh, fantastic.
Yes,
So they're still pushing.
no, I think it was like at least
But it's been weeks now they've been pushing that.
yeah, two updates a week usually is what we've been going for, because like things are, because all the base infrastructure is built now. It's actually just like refining and recovering and stuff. So no, I'm looking forward, like kind of last kind of features that we finished this week. Working on search, so making sure you can search across all your platforms and inbox and stuff and doing all that. And then next week just speed everything up, few refinements from feedback, and then make sure things load as fast as we could possibly have it for the moment. And then we're working on all the AI functionalities. That the drafting's really good, all this sort of stuff. So all the AI initial bits, and then after that, then we'll be releasing voice control, and then further integrations out, like
Brilliant.
teams and stuff. So no, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be an exciting few weeks. I think go to the US then as well, and no, it's good hype building. We're running lots of ads. Been learning a lot about LinkedIn ad campaigns and different levels and stuff. So I learned a lot about that last little while as well. So no, it's good. Lots happening.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
I look forward to what the next 2 quarters bring.
Me too.
Boom or bust, they always say.
Yeah.
It's an Irish one.
Well, again, like it's like the pain point is so like it's so clear. It's just a matter that builds a product.
100%.
It's just going to be kind of bridging the gap between where the product is currently and making sure it just solves the pain for as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a big swing.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think we both know each other's plans. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the pipeline. So I look
Yeah.
forward to continuing to share this journey. It's a little bit parts, documenting this part of this podcast as well for ourselves to see where we're at. And yeah, I think both of us have done amazing, in 2025 so far. And I really look forward to seeing what the next couple of months brings. But
Yeah.
it's been a lot of milestones. Like, I mean, doing your first product software is like within under 12 months. It's like, wow, it's pretty cool. We've then created a really cool new company and really, really disrupted the education space and bringing really a modern new solution to markets around Ireland. So it's been really exciting. So I can only just look forward to the next few months and see what this journey has left for us in the next couple of months.
I know you're doing some PR stuff over the next couple of months. I'm looking forward to you be able to talk a little more. One, they come out of the able to talk pretty extensively. I know you're kind of staging information release, but I'm looking forward because I think people have no idea how amazingly Olive has been doing.
Yeah, we've definitely like tried to keep it under wraps and really focus on the business, and then look at how to and when to start to educate the public around what we've done, what we're doing, and why we have received such positive traction across the ecosystem, right? Because I think it's very rare for a company to start taking majority market share and to get such demand. And I think it comes down to the people and the quality service and product we provide is just that significantly more distinctive. But also we've changed the game in the sense of we now talk about softwares. We're bringing the hardware is analog and it's going to be something that's so secondary. And we're focusing on what type of software the students need in order to accelerate both digitally and personally in life. Um, because it's a key essential skill. As we both know, we both, came up from a school that was digital first, and we've learned how to use from Google tools to every part of the computer. And I think that shouldn't be forgotten. And access for every kid should be provided and fought towards. And the first step we're doing is going to be doing here in Ireland. And we're so excited because we've had a number of schools. I mentioned on a couple of podcasts ago, we've created a solution called the Olive Learning Wallet, which includes all the softwares that we think that are really, really important for the learner's success in digital. And actually, Ian Cochran, the CEO, is going to be starting some radio campaigns on Monday. So he's gonna, I think, be participating in an interview and everything. So it's gonna slowly but surely come out, and I'm gonna work my hardest as well to start spreading the message that the game is now changed. You should no longer worry about the device. You should now be talking to us about how do you get our learning solutions. How do learners actually engage in this, and why is this the next 10 years? And it's a little bit like talking about an MP3 and Spotify. MP3 was great. Everybody was so keen on it, but just there was so much focus on it. And then all of a sudden Spotify came along and it was all about the software, and it could run on any phone relatively that has basic foundation. So that is our mission, is to bring that. And that's how we're trying to create affordability and accessibility across our market. So I'm really excited. It's been a really interesting venture to go on with, going from working with businesses to working with schools to now working with, quite a large number of schools while running the two companies. I've learned so much and been exposed to so much as well. And it's just been great to be able to share the resources where Grafton Digital and the Olive Group have collaborated in that sense. And we were just able to build a company way, way faster. We've been very successful. But it's all down to, my opinion, the team and the products and services that we have curated, combined. And it's just amazing to see how much dedication and support we're getting back from the principals and, deputy principals in Ireland. It's just amazing to get that.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about Olive for Education. Every school is now aware of us. And it's really cool to have that, because 8 months ago, we were only trying out this larger concept. And then all of a sudden now we are the go-to market, the go-to company for everything to do with EdTech, which is amazing. And I want to keep growing that momentum, and I want to continue always have our customer service support and dedication at our core of what we do.
Yeah.
And I think from learning the mistakes of others out in the market, that is like one thing we've always cherished, is to bring that and to never let that down under any circumstance. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm going to be sharing more and more as now things are more and more shareable in that sense. So it's been just a very interesting journey with loads of highs and loads of lows and loads of learning. So I think probably post September, I'm going to be able to share a lot more with our audience around everything, what's gone on, and why I've kind of be kept in a little bit in the shadows, and why, maybe not shadows, but maybe why I've strategically not talked about certain things for quite some time. So, but anyways, I'm very excited and I'm ready to continue rock.
Yeah, the really fun one, I think, on the software front, I think is one of the things that it's one part of the MP3 to Spotify, is that something I'm thinking about a lot with Magnate as well. Is like, I think software is going to become more and more customized, and I think even with all the educational software, I think like bringing it down to like having individual journeys or bucketing journeys for students of how to navigate them where they're at. I think it'd be really exciting of that, like education trying to personalize as much to the user, like with Magnate. Like I suppose the big one I'm looking at is like no more than your Facebook or your Instagram or your TikTok algorithm. It's customized to what you want to see, how you want to see it. And with messaging with Magnate, with machine learning, our big one I'm thinking about over the next while is having as customized a journey as possible, because for the last like 25 years, messaging and also education have been for the most part, a one box fits all.
It's all just being like exactly an analog journey. It's just is what everyone gets the same experience and it's the same entry point, same exit point. There's no variables or there's no opportunities to add on or improve or tailor.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree with you.
And I think we're both very focused on, I think from an educational standpoint, I think that's definitely on your roadmap. But with Magnate, it's like, how can I create it that everyone's control center for if their messaging is customized to exactly whether you want to control just with voice, whether you just use desktop, whether you've automatic folder set up, whether you have certain messages get automatic responses based on what you want, and really giving people this like control center. And then I think on the educational front, which would be so impactful for so many children, is being able to customize the educational journey with software. Because obviously teachers have to have a classroom of 50 to 25 to 30 children. Like they can only do so much one-to-one work. And I think the software layer can really help, enable the teachers. And I know there's a lot of talk around, like software taking jobs, but I think it's more like it's a co-pilot, like the software journey with the teacher being able to be the enabler and being the person pushing it through. I think that's really powerful. I think it'll make education outcome for each child much better, I believe.
Absolutely, but and one of the main things we are really focusing is don't break the bond.
Yeah.
And what that really means is we're not trying to separate, classroom to teacher to software. What we're trying to do is leave the kids more in like having them the opportunity to learn inside the classroom and to be able to, revise, to be able to access everything they really, really need without having to go to extracurricular tuition or do anything where it's anyway taken away from that learning experience. Because it's crazy to me that there is kids at the moment paying for different institutions addition to schools where they're after the school finishes, they're now going to inside another classroom, which is probably really good for study and to be in the one environment. But everything we're doing is to enable you to not to break the bond of being in school and being at home, is to keep you inside your learning journey and to be able to give you that freedom of planning your own tuition sessions and everything like this. So that's where we're really focusing on, is just to keep everything where they are. And this is an add-on to have teachers, more time teaching rather than, necessarily working to give kids, again, extracurricular, studies or homework.
Yeah.
Is to kind of keep everything inside the school. So that's where our mission is. And that's what our motto is we're not trying to break that bond
Yeah.
in any sense.
No, and it's exciting times, and definitely over the next 6 months, I think we'll have a lot to release, both of us, and be pushing. And I'm excited to talk about that more at length in the podcast, because obviously all of it just takes time.
And that's the big thing. You got to be very patient again. We're actually both trying to change, like, what's the last, like, decade. And so, 20, 30, 40 years has been going on. And that's why, like, change just will take time. And you can only do it by nearly, like, one customer or one person at a time. And you got to be so patient in it. And just because you think you're going to get 100 and you're only going to get 20, well, cherish that 20 and really be like, okay, these are my first 20 change makers and actual people that are going to really carry this change through and help me, the next year to have 60 new change makers. So that's, our attitude as well, is there will be a lot of pushback. There will be a lot of, we don't understand this yet, and that's okay. Our job is to help enable that and to let everybody participate at their own time, but that's going to take, a couple of years, I might, imagine. So, it's positive to see that there is funding going in towards, software education in all senses of digital. So until that is happening at the rate is happening, I think we're in a very good, space to innovate.
Yeah. A piece of news. I know we're going to get some questions we got sent in. So I think I was telling you about software post hog.
Oh yeah, Stripe put in.
They're $70 million round.
So
Um,
Stripe was leading Stripe.
about it, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I told you about post hog. I felt 1 month ago. It's incredible software. So it's really incredible. Like really, like so we're currently setting it all up for website, desktop app, and both mobile apps, and just the data and following and everything is absolutely incredible. I cannot talk highly enough of it. And personally, I've only scratched the surface on it, but I did see that it was yesterday they announced that there was, I think it was Series B or Series C round, 70 million. And like there was so much you can do for free on the platform as well. Like, a lot of it is product led growth, um, and the ability to, like, you can split test features. So you can track split testing features with different customers and see how it works and stuff. So anyways, I just saw that and I was like, wow. I'm like,
That was really cool. Yeah, for it, everybody in post hoc, I think it just really shows how you can just sometimes focus really well on the product, and you might get picked up by a larger company. And if enough people actually do spread your product because it's so decent, then you probably don't need a lot of marketing. But now you've got a great product. Because I know one of the questions we did actually get was, what is more important, product or marketing? My argument is it's like both are really, really important. Post hog, you just, I think, had a really good marketing presence, but they mightn't have been necessarily looking to attract more users. It was like more planting it in people's minds or giving people trials. But I think you need both product and marketing.
yeah, like I think it depends on what business sector you're in, depends on what your big challenge is. And I think that in software, I know with Magnate, like we have a couple of go to market strategies. The main one for us is going to be product led growth. Like, and that means initially probably get less traction on the uptake, because obviously it takes a while to get your product market fit. But once something like this catches on, and more than Superhuman. Do you remember like a few years ago, Superhuman? Everyone was talking to us. I was getting people bombarding and saying to try and join it and whatever. And I'm like, oh no, I'm grand. But I definitely think that coming back to the question, in software, you either build a mediocre product and spend the rest of your life selling and marketing it, or you build an amazing software and take the time to go super deep and really figure it out, and it will sell itself.
Serious in itself.
And like, especially for us, like we're working with business leaders, tops of organizations, owners, co-founders, C-suite, heads of department, and like once they get it and they love it, they go, everyone in the company should have this because this is such an amazing experience, and that's a product like growth. Yeah, and we have a few other go-to-markets like land and expand, where we target that, and then referral programs as well to incentivize our users that, you love it, but you also get upside, then have discounts and stuff as well. So no, it's but I think for a product, build something people love. Because I know there's this big debate in software around um build and they will come. So back in the early 2000s, it was like build and they will come, which is not necessarily true now. You still need to have all the other compartments, and hence why, Lovable or Remplit doesn't, people can't just whip something up and then take over the world with it straight away now. But I think it's a case of you need to build excellent software, because it's too easy to build now. And most people are not building great software. So it's a matter of building excellent and then obviously having the sales and marketing. But if you don't have a great product, you'll struggle to go anywhere.
This one's definitely for you coming up is what I wish I knew before launching my first product.
It takes way longer than you anticipate.
Said very painfully.
Yeah, it takes so much longer. Um, yeah, and like it's interesting. There's like two different routes in software. There's like build an MVP really rough, and that can justify everything else. And there is just software I saw posted on LinkedIn the last day. Some software is just, you do need the full thing for it to be a really valid thing you could test. You actually just can't cut corners with it. And with Magnate, like we did have an MVP, but until you have the full thing, it doesn't actually really fully work. Like you just can't. And hence why you need to make sure that the validation is there. So no, my big one is um make sure it's a hair on fire pain point. Building great software takes time. And we went the bootstrapped, like self-funded route as well. So it took a little longer. But interestingly enough, I understand the pain really well, the landscape really well, and understand the user base really well. And some of the things just take time. And make sure that you're an expert in all those areas, because by the time you get to market, like even on those, it might change now, going from, it's quieter, it's user meetings, it's having conversations with lots of people, to, okay, go to market, launching, data. But my attention is completely shifted on that, and then we're looking towards funding then as well. So I think the big one is really know your space, because even on my new Frontiers program, there's a couple of people now that their businesses are just blown up in the last couple of weeks, because it's probably a lack of customer research, really truly. So I think the big one for people is it takes longer to anticipate. Take the time to go really deep on it, because if you're not, your competitors will be. Because anyone can build software, like anyone can go and replicate what you're doing. So execution is absolutely everything. And then if you know understand your customer base really well, you can get to market and you can get your first 100,000 users. And the last one is, and it's one of my, this is going to sound silly, do not focus on revenue. Focus on your NPS score, which is Net Promoter Score, which is how much people love your software. Like, focus on building the most valuable software. Because if you just focus on revenue, you'll overshoot customer satisfaction and you'll lead to a probably mediocre product. So being super focused on what is it doing, making sure people love that software, and then revenue will be or better. And there follows there. I was so focused on revenue, and people are like, you will shoot yourself in the goddamn foot if you are not relentlessly focused on building software with the love.
And have quite a few startups there inside that accelerator are now.
Blown up, yeah.
Do you know what's funny is I always look at our 30 under 30 photo and I look at who's actually still in business. And
Two or three months.
there's two of us, and I think there is two.
Vision.
Yeah, Phil Division. I think there's one girl doing an AI wardrobe, and then there is, remember that one where you could like take a picture of your closet and it was
She was not hearing.
was she not in her third? Lara Pierce? No, could be thinking of someone else.
Yeah, no. I actually have. I actually be on my phone 1 second. She use it. She claims it. No, I met her at Web Summit. She's right on.
And then there's this guy Daniel. He does like the Agri Micro or the
Yeah. Remember? Oh, actually, there's a guy called he's Ready Watch as well. He was on our. Was he? I still see him at events.
So out of 30, there's potentially like 4 or 5 of us remaining, which is just shows you that it's like entrepreneurship is about how long you can stay in business for and keep growing and fighting it, yeah, for your position or your idea to really, be solidified.
Yep. Yeah.
So it should be a never ending
Yeah.
game as such. So I think that's why there's always mutual respect when founder, you say like, oh, I'm like 20 years in business.
You're wow.
It's like, yeah. And like maybe I went bankrupt a few times or maybe I've done X, Y, Z, but I've always, kept going. And that's the respect element and the amount of people that, were recognized as, some of Ireland's youngest and brightest and everything around that is like fantastic, but who's actually still, really pushing.
Actually, I actually got a call from Soldier in the week, and actually, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
To your opinion of this. They called me, so they're about 4 years in business. They're doing quite well revenue wise. Everyone's profitable. Business is basically systemized, and they were like, Daragh, I'm so goddamn bored. He was like, I have so much free time, and he's like, I have this idea for a product. What should I do? And I'm like, he's like, Daragh, because you've been both sides. You've been in service. You've been like Grafton was on a great trajectory when I got off. It wasn't like it was on the way up, and I'd taken the plunge. He was like, you're the only person I know that's done that and has the full view of it. And I was like, I think yes, you're bored, and I think the value now is that he's doing over $1 million a year. I'm like, I think you need to go find new challenges inside your business. I think you can cruise now and keep tipping along, or you can find a challenge. Open a Manchester office, open a US office, or like, how can you double down? Because going 0 to 1 is so goddamn hard. It's really, 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 really difficult. We're opening a department inside your company, and again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But he kind of said to me, he was like, "You're the only person." I wanted to call you because he's like,
You're the only person that's actually,
yeah, like,
I went from one horse going like really fast to jumping onto another wild.
yeah, and what perspective would you give me then as well? So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. But I was like, double down, find challenges inside your own business that scare you.
Yeah, well, I think boredom can pay
Yeah.
in that sense where, like, I think as creators, entrepreneurs, for me, like you're either a creator, like, or like an artist. Some people are really like really good brain strategy and everything along those lines. I uh, I would like to say that like I'm not bored, but we all get that.
Yeah.
could I be doing more? Could I, really look at doing this? And sometimes we have that side quest I really want to go in on. Now, I've actually spent the last like 6 months, not being bored, where I'm really gone in and optimized, the business and really learned to execute on the momentums we had. Because anytime you're bored, it's probably like some sort of a flat line happening in your business where you're every month you get the same amount of money, you know how much you're spending, you're not adding anything exciting. So it's like, okay, well, how can I actually, without really changing the dynamic of the team, or really adding a massive cost to my bottom line? Maybe that's, the way you're kind of looking at it. How do I now accelerate the growth and to get more and more top line?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you should complain if you're making a lot of, margin. Like, that's fantastic. And you shouldn't be rushing to spend it. I was with somebody on Wednesday, and he was saying, his business is doing extremely well. And but he has spent his yearly revenue talking to me like 4 times with what he's looking to go do this, get to this, and everything. And I'm like, we actually all go through that mind race. I go through that mind race where I reach further than I should. And, you can only do that so many times without getting burnt.
Yeah.
Um, you have to really be careful on that sense, and you have to learn that actually, when opportunities come to you, you should really, really think twice before you're going to go taking it.
Yeah.
I would always recommend you to take the opportunity, take and make an idea into an opportunity and make that opportunity into a business. I'd always say, like, if you really believe in it, go do it.
Yeah.
And to work back, what do I have and what don't I have, and see if which one is greater.
Yeah.
So like with Grafton, it's like, yes, we were doing software development and we were doing web development. That means we are extremely experienced in IT servers, and we have really good technician people.
Yeah.
So me then adding on a new division of IT services was very easy, and hired then a couple of people because, sometimes people are working 2 3 jobs at a company like Grafton, and that's just how it is. And then now I hired a department into that, and that department, then I'm like, how do I add more sources of revenue? Okay, we're going to be doing more service, going to be doing more repair, we're going to be doing audits, we're going to really accelerate this. And the guys are like, well, yeah, that's business, we're going to keep growing and growing and growing. And the day I decide to take the foot off the gas is the day I'll get bored and everything will flatline.
Yeah.
But I try to turn like anyway, boredom is like, how do I optimize the business and how do I keep growing it? Because we actually had a record month in May for Grafton Digital, which is like,
Nuts.
it's like okay, after 8 years we can still have record months and record growth patterns, which is like amazing. And especially running 2 businesses, your attention is split. Having a portfolio companies to advise on, your attention is now split again. So like, I'm split. I have a portfolio companies. I have 2 businesses, 2 big businesses. It's like my attention has to really, like, I have to get out of bed every morning and give every one of my children the same attention to or else one will be a little bit ahead than the other. So
Yeah.
I really am trying to get better at that. It's not easy. I haven't mastered it, so I won't preach about it, or I can't advise on it. But just do as you feel, and just see what's 1 or 2 things I can do today to really make that change.
Yeah.
But going back to this person being bored, I would say if you're bored, it's not a good sign. Do something, excite yourself, get yourself back on the creativity, take all the money away from yourself, try to figure something out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Like he's like, the way, like, every entrepreneur has a different motivation. I definitely feel like this person leans more towards the money cash side. I'm like well, you're at 1 million, when are you gonna hit 10 million? He's like, oh, probably the current growth in 5 years. I'm like, what?
why 5 years?
Yeah, why do it faster? Like, because if you stop the time back, the way goes, oh my god, so much to do, and then the fire, and then the push, and then the whatever. I think yeah, but anyways, he was writing me because he was like, you've seen both sides, and like, I think sitting in service software can look very sexy and very exciting. I definitely know you and I sat for years and we're like, oh, look at their valuations and look at this, it's so crazy. But
It could be so misleading. At the end of the day, what happens is, what is your end game?
yeah, wait till you can't.
Some people is like genuinely cash. Some people is valuation PR, or like some sort of self achievement. Some people are genuinely motivated by seeing themselves on the stock exchange of 5 10 years time, and then that's super cool. Well, it's what motivates you and what is going to be that driver in you that's going to get you to where you want to be. And I would say if you're doing 1 million, that's fantastic. The most businesses don't make it past those couple of years, never mind get to 1 million in Ireland. So I would say that's fantastic. I would say get to that 3 million mark and grow from that 3 million mark to 10 million mark.
Yeah.
And figure it out without really change of course.
Yeah.
If you can really do that, then you're in a great business.
I think so.
Because €1 million business is a hobby. You only have leverage cash for 200,000-300,000, to really go and do something. Unless you're even more profitable, fine. But that's not much. You can buy maybe half a house every year. Fantastic. How do you buy a villa?
Yeah.
How do you buy the villa? And just start really focusing on that.
Yeah.
Turn that.
No, 100%. It's just I thought it was a value.
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Yeah. So you have a couple more questions there.
I have a couple more questions. How much time do we have?
What time?
Brilliant. Building a business while in college, is it possible?
Yeah. Like Demi starting a business.
You can actually take a year out in university, can't you?
Yeah. Like I would. Yes, you can, and you can go back.
So you can actually, if you have something, prove the concept really, really quickly. That's always one thing, is don't be sitting on your idea thinking it's secret and you're going to get a load of people to sign non-disclosure agreements. Your idea has probably been done by somebody already, and it's probably been done greatly. How do you take a good spin on it? Why are you the person to do that spin?
Yeah.
And really justify that in the first 30 to 60 days of your idea creation. And I would just tell you to really quickly get your first paying customer. If you need more than that time and you're going into something that requires capital, talk to people and ask them for, advice that are in this funding space or have done this before. Not necessarily competition, but, take that with a pinch of salt, but talk to people and see, is your idea actually good enough to go do it? Don't waste a year on trying to figure it out. It's not worth it. I think we just live in a world now where everything sits on your phone. You can connect with everybody really quickly, and getting advice is easier than you think. That would be
Totally. And I think a lot of the colleges now also have entrepreneurship, like assistance for people that are interested in that sort of space. Like I know even like University of Galway has a thing called Ideas Lab, and they pay you a few €1,000 for couple weeks of summer.
those ideas labs still going.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and they've
Called something different.
it was guys like funny events. But anyways, I would completely agree. For summer, you have so much time. In college, you generally have a good bit of time as well. You can put 20, 30, 40 hours into something, basically work full time on it, and try and justify as fast as possible that customer supports. And like Eric said, like the worst thing you do, it's such a sign of first time founder is not how much your idea.
Talk about your idea and talk, tell it how it is, and don't be trying to, gatekeep it. No one's gonna, if someone really wants to go copy you and really want to take you out of business, then, it is what it is. Do it fast. You're better as,
But again, like if you gave 3 people the same business idea and put them in a room and go do the logo, go do the branding, go build a website,
then everyone's gonna have a different
3 different things. It's like if you fully understand the problem and you have all the skills to go do it, like just go do it.
Go.
You should be like a scientist. You should have a hypothesis, like an idea around how to solve this big hair on fire problem, and then you should do everything you can to prove that that's wrong, that your idea is wrong. Because if you can't prove it's wrong and it still stands the test of time, then you might have a business on your hands.
Then you might have a business on your hands. This is a funny question. Revenue versus funding. What is the real flex?
Revenue is a real flex.
I would say how much money the founder has is the real flex.
How much equity they still have at the end.
How much cash does the founder have is the real flex, because your business could be doing 100 million euros a year, and then you could own 2% of it or 10% of it. It's fantastic, and you could have fundraised loads of money. How much money are you getting paid out of this business that you built, even at that stage of growth where you've had to give up equity most of the times, where you had to bring other people in? How have you really structured your deals and your trajectory? That's, I think, is a real flex.
Yeah, well, like the interesting thing, and you see it on LinkedIn, people post about this. It's like if you've raised 5 million, 2 million revenue is not impressive. If you've raised 50 grand or 500 grand and you're doing 2 million revenue, that's impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah, 100%.
And again, it's just and this is the thing is like, and I don't need to get too caught in the weeds of this, but definitely something I think a lot of founders are starting to now look at is how to safeguard your equity. And then safe notes are definitely a way to do that. Going like a safe note is basically going, hey, if you have a $10 million safe note, you go to investors and go, this company's worth somewhere from 0 to 10 million, and your safety net is here. And it's like you'll either get 100% of the business or 10% of the business, but I need cash now. We're gonna keep going. But yeah, I definitely think obviously founder income is one piece here. Obviously, how much of the company you retain and control, because again, like you could be building a great business and you lose all your board votes because you've given away too much equity.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get done over as well. And so many companies get killed over actually the technicalities of ownership, board.
It's so overcomplicated, and yeah, the whole idea of governance is great, but it can really get lost to it. It can really kill a founder's soul.
Yeah.
That has founded that company initially.
Company, because if the founder in the first couple of years was so influential, them being passionate and interested and desired.
They're the main income. They should be on the balance sheet. That this is founder.
Yeah.
They should be on the balance sheet for its value.
But yeah, no, I think, yeah, like obviously founder interest, but I definitely think I'm like raising money is giving away your company, giving away chunks.
Think about every deal you sign. Think about everything you're about to do, because and try to think of why am I saying yes to this? Why am I not saying no? That's a really good piece of advice I've gotten. Is try to think of the no reason and the yes reason all the time and see it. Don't ever react on it straight away. Just have a think on that, and don't get too excited, because usually it doesn't happen. And do we want to do one more every time?
Yeah, well, we want to do more. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, Crypto NFTs, Web3. What's your opinion? Is it still play for startups?
I'm so undereducated in this side. I don't focus on that.
Me too.
Yeah, there probably is, but I'm not enough like.
Does there be play for everything, as long as you probably do it with the right intentions, with the right backing, and the right idea? I think there has been a terrible reputation for crypto NFTs. I'm not sure about Web3, but there has been a terrible reputation around this of scams, non-transparency, taking advantage, and really trying to do plays on it. Even like the whole Logan Paul play, with the um crypto zoo
Yeah,
ideas. Some of your best creators, your biggest
even Gary V, his V Friends thing is all tanked on value and stuff.
Gary V, KSI, load of people have pulled a fast one on their fans, and crypto was a real way to really take the money from everybody and put it into this dark hole, and good luck.
Well, even most recently with the Hot Tour girl, she released a token and it got rug pulled allegedly. Things will actually lost the ground about that. But again, like she had to walk it back and say her advisors were at fault there, and she didn't know what's going on. So,
Very easy thing to blame.
yeah.
At the end of the day, you are responsible for everything you put out and everything you do. I think we both watched CoffeeZilla.
Yeah.
Is a good creator, strong journalist. I haven't watched him in a while, but I like his investigations, and his multiple times has gathered enough evidence to really showcase how some people you would have really thought you could trust online, or you could really know them online, have taken massive advantage of their fans, which I really disrespect.
Yeah.
In every sense, and that's why I don't personally get too trusted or involved in that sort of space at the moment.
Well, the big one on brand is that it takes decades to build properly and seconds to lose everything. And that was a Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett quote. Like even us with this podcast is like, we do one short-term movement and you take all goodwill at anyone who actually watches.
Yeah, I like people do say to us like, why on your podcast do you not like get more and more in depth about money and everything like that, because that's what we really care about. Because this podcast is actually not about that. Like, our mission with this podcast is to document ourselves, our journeys, and I really try to give face value conversation and honest thoughts and ideas around the reality of entrepreneurship, young entrepreneurship, fundraising, product, business, and not give you the fluffy answer that you might be looking for. Or what a lot of online creators talk about is that they're making millions per month. It's an idea that sounds great, but I'd say 9% of these people are not who they are, not who they say to be, and they are totally creating a false reality about entrepreneurship. And I think that's what we're really trying to get across. This is not like we're going to be really deep diving into any of that stuff that a lot of people would be trying to make us famous for, trying to exploit that. That's not really our goal. Um, that's not a good question. Oh, that's a good one. Do you need a co-founder or a solo founder is the future?
I think at the end of the day, the main enjoyment of all this is the people you surround yourself with.
100%.
And I think as a leader of a company, you don't get the same relationship with your colleagues as your team would with each other, because at the end of the day, you come in with a brave face regardless of what's going on, and you need to show up and lead, which means that you're friendly to your team, but you're never going to be close colleagues. And the only person you could probably be transparent with and share that journey and those experiences with is your co-founder. So I probably would be against any difficult venture, without a co-founder.
You need somebody to share the good times, the bad times with.
All of it.
Crack a beer, talk about it over coffee the next day. Like, you have to have those. Like, I think we've had an absolute brilliant time, with their first 6 years of business, and we just had the absolute best of times and some of the most challenging times we've celebrated together, as well. So it was, I wouldn't really, think on like, do I need somebody or not? I think that is the way of, it's a bad way of thinking.
Agreed.
And like, one thing you cannot, if you have greed in the business, you're going to be a bad businessman, and you're going to cut people short for a short-term gain, so like, don't be a greedy businessman. um be a good business person where you are always looking to make sure everybody wins across your table, nobody takes advantage, but all I would always lead with trust on that. And I would say, just make sure you facilitate, be the bigger person sometimes in that room.
Yeah.
And I think that's just good business ethics. So I do think you should have a co-founder. I think it's brilliant to have shared responsibilities, have other people that can add to your business and the vision, and go do it together. I think that's it's a priceless thing to do. And there'll be time where it's okay to, just like we've had, there'll be a time where it's okay to separate and go your, other ways, but do it amicably. What's the word?
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it, but that's that word was just,
Yeah.
do it respectfully, and really look after each other, and then really look to see how, how am I going to really ensure that, my co-founder and I are going to be on a successful path, like a marriage. So I don't think there's a problem in doing solo foundership or having a co-founder.
I think at the end of the day, for whatever the equity is worth, and if people bring value to the table, I'm like, I take it every day that we could have on someone else that you can like just lean on.
Bounce things off and do things.
Yeah.
And I would also say, like, one of the biggest things I think people, like, in the startup space, fall out over is they start with their idea being worth nothing. All of a sudden, it's worth something, and then people start to go and say, claim to fame, that's mine actually. And that's where a lot of people fall out, because suddenly people are like, well, my startup is worth $1 million, and I've done this, that, and that, and that's like, well, okay, well, that's not really a fun thing to do. But I've seen it in so many startups where people are constantly fighting over the value proposition and where things are at.
Yeah, I think if at all possible, I think everyone should be vested. It has to be 3 years, and if you give in over those 3 years, there should be a clause that you don't get there. Because yeah, in startup land, things can go absolutely crazy, but probably go nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think to avoid, it's even just trying to just prevent even miscommunication on this. I think should be a case of,
Or it,
yeah, quick contract. You unlock equity as time goes along. If you walk away, maybe lose all of it, maybe keep some of it. Dead equity on the table is not, a cap table is not great, but again, should be a case of like, if we're all in on this, should be no problem signing for 3 years.
yeah, it's ride or die.
Yeah, they're all in or you lose everything. Would be my issues then for really, because again, the company at every stage is going to need those people that drive, and if you tap out, then it's like, anyways.
Absolutely.
But I think that's been good.
Those 27.
Episode 27, yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe if you made it this far. Really appreciate the support to date, and we'll see you next week.